Everyone in sim racing tells you the same thing: get direct drive. But almost nobody explains what that actually changes, or whether the belt wheel you already own is really holding you back. So let's fix that. 3 ways to build a wheel, one job, wildly different feel. By the end, you'll know exactly which one you need, and it might save you a lot of money. Start with the job itself, because all 3 do the same thing. A force feedback wheel has one purpose: to push back on your hands and recreate what the car's doing. Grip, weight, the road. Every wheelbase on Earth is trying to do that. The difference is what sits between the motor and your hands, and that gap is everything. Inside a gear-driven wheel, a small motor spins a set of plastic or metal gears, and those gears turn the wheel. Same idea as a hand drill. The problem is the teeth. Every gear tooth is a tiny step, and as the motor turns, you feel each one, a faint, notchy, gritty clicking through the wheel. It's the sound and feel of mechanical parts doing their job. Gear wheels are the cheapest way in, around 2 to 3 Newton meters, and honestly, they're fine to learn on. A Logitech G29 has been the first wheel for thousands of quick drivers, but that notch is always there, sitting on top of everything the game's trying to tell you. Next step up, belt drive. A belt-driven wheel takes the motor and connects it to the wheel with a toothed rubber belt, like the timing belt in a real engine. And that belt does something clever. It smooths out the notchiness. All that gritty gear tooth feel gets absorbed by the flex of the rubber. So a belt wheel feels far cleaner and quieter than gear. This is why belt was the serious choice for years, and why it's still good today. 4 to 6 Newton meters, smooth, affordable. But here's the trade, and it's the important bit. The same belt that smooths away the notch also smooths away detail you wanted. The rubber absorbs energy, so a sharp, sudden signal, the exact moment a tire lets go, arrives softened, a little rounded off. And under hard load, the belt flexes, which adds a slight, rubbery delay between what the car does and what you feel. Belt drive cleaned up gear drive's biggest flaw, but it filters the fine stuff in the process. Which brings us to the one everyone talks about: direct drive. Direct drive throws all of it out. No gears, no belt. The wheel bolts straight onto the shaft of a powerful motor, and that's the whole design. Nothing sits between the motor and your hands. So when the game sends a signal, you get it. Raw, immediate, complete. Every curb, every bump, the first millimeter of a slide, the stuff a belt would have rounded off comes through sharp. This is why people say, you can't go back once you've felt it. Now the part the marketing gets wrong. Everyone sells direct drive on power. Big torque numbers, 20 Newton meters, arm wrestling forces. That's not the point. The point is clarity. A direct drive base isn't better because it's stronger. It's better because it's honest. It doesn't filter the signal on the way to your hands. You could run a direct drive base at the same strength as a belt wheel, and it would still feel more detailed because there's nothing in the middle blurring it. And there's a number that makes this concrete: latency, the delay between the game calculating a force and you feeling it. Gear drive runs around 15 to 25 milliseconds. Belt, 10 to 15. Direct drive, 3 to 8. That sounds like splitting hairs. It isn't. At 200 kilometers an hour, 20 milliseconds of delay means you feel a slide about a car length after it started. On direct drive, you feel it as it begins, early enough to catch it. That's not immersion, that's lap time and saves. So direct drive wins, but before you go spend money, the honest part, because the internet oversells this. A belt wheel is not holding most people back. If you're learning tracks, building consistency, racing for fun, a good belt wheel gives you almost everything you need, and gear drive is a fine place to start. Skill beats hardware every time, and plenty of fast drivers came up on a G29. Don't let anyone shame you out of the wheel you've got. But here's what changed and why the advice is shifting. Direct drive used to cost thousands. It doesn't anymore. Entry-level direct drive now costs about the same as a good belt wheel. So the old logic, buy belt to save money, then upgrade later, mostly stopped making sense. If you're buying your first serious wheel today and the price is a wash, there's little reason to choose the technology that filters the signal over the one that doesn't. So, simple version, gear drive, fine to start, you'll feel the teeth. Belt drive, smooth and good value, but it rounds off the detail. Direct drive, the clearest, fastest feedback there is, and now it costs about what a belt wheel does. Buy for where you're going, not just where you are. And whatever you're on right now, go drive it, the wheel matters, far less than the practice.